Hi, I'm Jennifer, and in today's episode of Unearthed Relics, I'm going to be showing off a variety of different thrifting finds that I've made recently, as well as some crafts using some of those things, as well as lots of other things in my stash of vintage goodies. So join me for today's episode and let me know what you think down in the comments below. So first off, I went to one quick yard sale this past week. I've been busy with work and other things around the house, so I didn't have time to get out and do as much yard sailing as I would have hoped, and it is like prime season and weather for that right now. But I did stop at one small one. It was actually a family that was kind of liquidating the remnants of an antique booth or antique store from, it seemed like a relative who had maybe passed away. In any case, I did find some goodies there. Didn't go overboard. I got this adorable little like toy mixer. Isn't that just amazing? I don't think it works super well, but I think like in a like assemblage or something, like with little children's things or even just regular cooking things, I think that would be really cool. And it's definitely old and definitely cool. I had also been watching a video with a YouTuber that I've really enjoyed watching videos with called Rajiv Surendra, and I hope I am saying his last name correctly. He's kind of like a modern day Martha Stewart, lives in New York and does lots of really cool vintage things, and kind of a devotee of doing things like the old school way, like, you know, high quality and a lot of craftsmanship to different types of tasks and things. In any case, he recently had a video about Staffordshire pieces, and I've been aware of them and kind of can recognize them, or at least, you know, the style of them when I'm out and about. I never had been drawn to them, and I think it was the fact that he had said that was also the case for him, not particularly getting it at first, but then the more he had learned about them and how they were kind of like the poor man's fancy stuff, really had appealed to him. And so just out of curiosity, I was poking around and turned over one thing that I actually was going to get just because I thought it would make a cute little thing for St. Patrick's Day. And lo and behold, it's Staffordshire. Awfully bad shape. I mean, to be sure, there's like a hole. You couldn't use it as a little picture thingy anymore. And a giant chip over out of the other side. But I think just for what it is, and I love the fact that like instantly was able to go out and find that. And since then I've seen a ton more pieces on different like estate sale auctions and things like that. I'm not gonna dive off the deep end, but I did enjoy this little guy here. And actually it's not a guy, it's a girl. It's Shakespeare's wife, apparently, Anne Hathaway. So there's a historical fact for you. In any case, I only paid $1 for it, and I think it's really fun. I think it'd be fun to put little, I mean, obviously little toothpicks down into, or other pieces that I like, picks and things like that I might use for crafting. So I might keep it out on my desk for a little while and enjoy that. I also got this really cool set of, I'm assuming these were advertisement cards or cards that came in different, looks like maybe soap products, but this really cool set of vintage bird cards, which I think will be really cool for some collages or trades, that kind of thing. So I was excited about that. On an earlier thrifting trip, I had gotten a vintage game board. I think I've already showed that one off. I come across Scrabble stuff all the time, and I obviously enjoy using the letters for things. But this past week, I had a chance to do some cool crafting with the parts of a board. So basically, I cut up the board, and so you can actually see the back of that, and then did some collaging on that, and then stenciling with kind of gold tone on there, added some quotes and decoupaged some mushroom print that I had found. In any case, I think these turned out really well. I made 3 of them, and I'm gonna make maybe a few more now that I've got the other side of the board to work with as well. I might try a different motif on this next batch, but thought these were kind of fun, and you know, just obviously could be stuck into a frame or put on an easel, or worked into like a junk journal. Like if you had a chunkier pocket, I think something like that would stick down in there really nicely. to show off in terms of recent thrifted finds were a whole lot of tins that I have been accumulating at various sales. So I was able to pop into a vintage sale at our local fairgrounds a couple weekends ago, and I got a bunch of really cool vintage tins, and I had also found some while helping to clean out my parents' basement and garage. And so I've got a lot of tins. And so you obviously know I'm a fan of my tins. Use the bread boxes, especially for storing different items. And I got a few more bread boxes, one of which I've got down below on the bottom shelf down there, stuffed with books. So that whole shelf was kind of like a haphazard stack of books. So I was able to get several of them down into the tin, and just a few more stacked up on top of that. So I think that looks a whole lot prettier than just a random stack of books. And I got another bread box here. I love the top on this one. Both of them were kind of yellow. I didn't necessarily do that. They tended to be, or turned out to be, the ones that spoke to me the most when I was looking around at some of the different objects, with kind of the idea of finding things that would be good for storage in mind as I was looking. In any case, these were some of the things that I found, and then some of my ideas about things that I might put down into them. So I think old recipe boxes, especially the metal ones, are always really cool. I have some older, like more retro style one. I liked kind of this one because it had a little bit more, even though it's not super old, has a little bit more of a Victorian floral motif to it. And it's great for just kind of sticking recipe cards down into that I can craft on. I found this tin. I think I've shown this one off before. I got that at a Goodwill. I think it was down inside of one of the other things that I had picked out, and take it back. I got that one at an estate sale. It had some funky stationery in it, which was fine, but I was able to stash a bunch of other little vintage sewing things down into. So just having maybe a to-go craft kit is a great idea for what you could do with tins, for sure. And then I have a whole bunch of really cool old tea tins. So I found a lot of these at my parents' house. Some of them still had tea in them. I wasn't gonna trust the tea to drink, although I could use that if I choose to for like tea dyeing. I think it would be fine for that, but I just like really cool colors, really cool designs. I love these bright ones with the, kind of separate lids on them. I think these are super cool. This one I've got Jenga blocks stuffed down into for kind of stand-up collage projects. The Jenga blocks always come in handy, so I try to grab those when I find those at the Goodwill outlet. Also the different shapes. So a big rectangle here, obviously, but this one's got a couple different sides. I love that kind of old look. And I think that would fit any number of different things down into. I could probably get playing cards down into this one, maybe some ink or inking supplies. So that's really cute. And then this oval one, I think oval's probably not the best shape for storing objects, but maybe things like marbles or smaller little objects that are maybe rounded would fit down into there really, really nicely. I was also thinking that since I had some of these mini Scrabble tiles that I had found a while ago, those would be really good in one of these smaller tins. And then I can set that on a shelf, maybe next to my full-size Scrabble tiles, and have those kind of out so they're not just thrown into the mix of the larger set of things. So for subdividing sets of larger things, I think the tins are really great. This one's just an old set of a kind of kitchen canister set. I only found one of these. These are actually the ones that I had in my kitchen, or my mom had in her kitchen when I was growing up. So I found this when we were cleaning out basement, garage, different things, and it didn't have the lid anymore. I don't care. It's perfect for storing things. In this case, it is storing glue sticks. I have an abundance of glue sticks, so I'm always looking for places to stash those. And instead of just having baggies stacked on a shelf, it looks so much cuter that you get to see the cute little flowers on it. So canisters as well. Kitchen canisters are great for storage. Yeah, so tins and totes for all of your treasures. Definitely a pretty inexpensive and effective way to get different things stored away and keep your craft area looking really cool and neat as well.